Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, readers of all persuasions. It is I, Gayla, and welcome back to Book Uncorking Caffeinated. And it is definitely a caffeinated morning. Oh my lord, I needed some coffee so bad. Anywho, this is my Hawaiian coffee. I had to dig in the crates this morning. So let's get started for why you came here. So a couple of weeks ago, I talked about the books that I bought so far in the month of October. And so here we are back for the other half of October. I think that video came out like October 12th, and then it's October 26th. It's like 2 weeks later, but these are the rest of the books that I bought. So let's just get started. So the first couple of books I'm going to talk about is the book that I started with in my last video about this is in the series Before the Coffee Gets Cold. So now I picked up Before We Say Goodbye and Before We Forget Kindness. And there's one more, I think it's delayed. I don't know if it's delayed because it's not published yet. I know it was another one coming out, but I will be getting that as well. So it's 6 in the series. I'm a completionist, so a lot of times I will buy the entire series, which is good or bad, depends on how you look at it. I don't care. It's my book, so I'm going to buy them. But I've added 2 more to the collection, so I'm happy about that. I also picked up a banned book, Animal Farm. It's its 75th anniversary edition. I probably have it in my collection, or I might have had it at school. I don't know if it was in my personal collection or my school collection, so I bought it anyway. So I'm actually going on a quest to buy banned books because I do want them in my collection. So I'm going to see what I have because I have a couple, and then I'm going to pick up pretty much as many as I can. Then this book has been on my radar for a while. This is kind of one of those TikTok, or I won't say TikTok, but like internet books that's been going around. Tell Me What You Did, by Carter Wilson. This book is about a podcaster who gets people to confess their crimes on air, but she can't really guarantee the police won't come after you. So that sounds really interesting. Kind of like a thrillerish read. It's about 400 pages. I haven't read anything this thick in a long time just because I've been reading romances, and romances aren't usually as thick as this, but I'm looking forward to this. And probably what will happen is I will do it in tandem with the audio as well. So then I thought this was super interesting when I was perusing Barnes & Nobles is F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Last Tycoon. This is the author that wrote The Great Gatsby. And I think The Great Gatsby is on the banned book list too, now that I think about it. But anywho, this is deemed the author's final work. And I was like, that's interesting, because I was going to buy a newer copy of The Great Gatsby. And then I was like, no, let me get this, since this is considered the last work of Fitzgerald. So I'm interested to see more of what this is about. And yeah, so I'm gonna do that. This book was more of a professional read, emergent strategy. I went to professional development last week, and for those who don't know, I work in the school system. I'm a social worker, and a lot of my work is even though it can be a little intense, it's systemically. I always try to lead with joy, and I try to think about if I was in these children's shoes. So I lead a little differently, and I teach a little differently, and I counsel a little differently. But this book was super interesting because it makes you think of who you are, your perspective, and how do you bring that to the job that you do. So this was one of the recommended reads. So I'm looking forward to reading that to bring more purpose to my work. And then I picked up Shanora Williams, The Wife Before. Never read anything by Shanora, so I'm interested in reading some stuff. And this has been quite popular on the internet as well, so I'm going to get into that. Then Carlson Whitehead, The Nickel Boys. I went back and forth with getting it, and then I actually read the back of it, and it reminded me of The Reformatory, as far as the premise kind of the book. It says, when Elwood Curtis, a black boy growing up in 1960s Tallahassee, is unfairly sentenced to a juvenile reformatory called the Nickel Academy, he finds himself trapped in a grotesque chamber of horrors. And Miss Dew, who wrote The Reformatory, I wanted to read these together, like do like a kind of like a buddy read of books. to see what was both of their takes of like this reformatory type of situation. Also, this is about 1960s Tallahassee. I went to school in Tallahassee. I went to FAMU. So I'm always interested in finding out the perspective of the history of Tallahassee, because, you know, Tallahassee has some strong history as far as Black people are concerned. It's the capital of Florida, and a lot goes on. So definitely want to read this. And because I am who I am, I got another morning meditation for manifestation, prompts and exercises to achieve inspiration, joy, and gratitude. So I picked that up. I haven't been doing really morning meditations. I just really been getting up and praying, but I usually like to have something that I can carry with me throughout the day. And these are just short inserts, and then it has a little bit of writing you can do. And I did not re-up on my 5-minute journal, so this would be great. I feel like this has the same sentiment as far as time, and so I am going to start this actually tomorrow, because I want to get back into setting my day, and I haven't been, and it's kind of been showing up in just who I am as a person and my work. So I want to get back to that. So I'm going to start that tomorrow. And then yesterday, I went to an incense making class at a bookstore in Brooklyn, not too far from where I grew up. And I was super excited because I haven't been to the bookstore yet. It was my chance to go there. And so I picked up quite a few books. And so I'm so happy about it. So one of the books I picked up was titled Every Black Girl Dances by Candace Johnson. It's a novel, and it says it's a searing exploration of femininity and womanhood. So I'm super interested in reading this. It's not super long. It's not super long at all. So I am so happy about that. And then I think this is a romance novel, I don't know, by Danielle Marcus, Stick of Love. And it says, I gave you 15 years, 2 kids, and my everything. You still chose to give a woman you barely knew the ring, the house, and my happily ever after. So that's going to be super interesting. Oh my Lord. And then one more book I picked up is a book of poems by Morgan Parker. Morgan Parker's bombastic second book profoundly expresses a Black millennial consciousness with anger and appetite. Everywhere Parker looks, she sees a wildly messed up world. There's far too many of me dying. The president be like, we lost a young boy today. So she also answers a personal and public mandate to re-envision it through humor and confrontation. And that was by NPR. Interesting. So I'm interested in this. It's a book of poems about like the experience of Black people and what we're going through, and it feels like it's going to be super real. So can't wait to get into that. And then last week I made a quick little short about going to Dollar Tree. So I picked up The Unsettled by Ayanna Mathis. It's the author of The 12 Tribes of Hattie. I picked that up. Super happy about that. And then I found, I'm not going to butcher this author's name. It's kind of a well-to-known book. I think it has other books, or she's written other books, but it's called Someday Maybe. It's a Nigerian author. I'm looking forward to this. It says, here are the 3 things you should know about my husband. 1, he was the great love of my life, despite the personage for going incognito. 2, he was as far as I and everyone else could tell, perfectly happy, which is significant because 3, on New Year's Eve, he killed himself. Wow. And there's one thing we should know about me. 1, I found him, and then the bonus fact, no, I'm not okay, which I think is awesome that that person had the courage to write something like this. And it says, Someday Maybe is a stunning and witty debut novel about a young woman's emotional journey through unimaginable loss, pulled along by her tight-knit Nigerian family, a posse of new friends, and the love and laughter she shared with her husband. This is deeper than I thought. I seen it, but I really didn't I was like, oh, I seen something popular, but here we are, Someday Maybe. So this would be an awesome read and to do like a review on. I think I'm going to do a review on this book because that's super intense, but I'm sure there are some messages about love, grief, probably regret moving forward. So yes, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 books. 12 books. I don't even know how many of the other books, I'll put it on the screen, so how many books I bought in October. So it is what it is. I like to read. I read my things, but I am making a journey of reading more of the books on my shelf and doing some other content with the books on my shelf so I can read the books on my shelf. Not saying I will go on a book buying van and none of that, but just being intentional about the stuff that I have in my possession. And there's a lot of these books I've read, but as of late, I've bought a lot of books that I haven't read, so I want to get into those. But yes, enjoy your Sunday. Put in the comments below books that you have read, whether you've read the books that I've mentioned, you know the authors that I mentioned, or you're interested in the book, or something that's super, super cool that you think you might want me to take a look at or read. Until next time, do all of the things, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.